Hi, my name is Andrew, and today I'm going to show you how to clean up space on your computer fast. When you just buy a new computer or your laptop, you will see plenty of free disk space on all the drives that you have. But during the time, of course, this picture will change, and in some times you will see this picture like I have. So both of my drives, as you can see, have not enough free disk space. Like on drive C, which is 500 gig, I have only 26. And on drive D, which is 1 terabyte, close to 1 terabyte, I have like 13 gig of free space. So I'm focused on the drive C today, just to show you the concept. In my previous video, I showed you the 3 tools that can help you with the cleanup task. Today, I'm going to use WizTree. If you like my videos and you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel to be notified as soon as possible when my new video will be released. And I do apologize in advance for any inconvenience in my video, because I'm going to work with the drive and do the recording at the same time. So as a result, me or my screen might be frozen. So sorry for that. Okay. I want to scan again my 500 gig drive. And I select the drive C and I click scan. So the scan is finished. And now I have all my folder sizes together with folder map. The speed of this tool is just insane. It's used a little bit different approach to get the file size or folder sizes, but it's so fast. And let's use this tool just to start cleaning up. So first of all, what I normally do, so I just look at the folder sizes. So for example, you see there is a whole drive C. And this is my folder users. The users takes about 400 gigabytes. So of my 500 gig drive. Okay, so let's see what's inside. So my user, of course, takes more than anyone else. So I'm only user on this computer. So that's why, which is interesting. So OneDrive, as you know, any cloud storage like OneDrive, for example, or Google Drive, they can synchronize with your local file system, and give you some files and store some files, of course, on your local drive. So some files are in cloud, some files stored locally, and for me, it stores about 184 gigabyte of storage. So OneDrive consume about 184 gigabyte of my storage, which is okay, not good. So I don't need to keep this 184 gigabytes on my local drive if I have everything in the cloud available, kind of on my download speed. So of course, there is a reason to clean it up. And this is actually what I'm going to do. So to clean it up, so there are a couple of approaches. First of all, you can open the OneDrive. You can press Start on your keyboard and type OneDrive, or you can also see the OneDrive icon within your tray icons. And if you right-click on this OneDrive icon, then some settings will appear. Or what you can also do, you can actually go to your file explorer, and you see I have 2 OneDrives. So one from my company and another one my personal. So if I click on my personal, right-click, and then I go to OneDrive, and I go to settings, then I will see some helpers that can help me to get rid of all of these files. So first of all, I go to advanced settings, and where I see the limit download rate and limit upload rate, I don't need it. So it's just to limit upload and download rate. But what I need to have is just files on demand. So because files on demand, it's the files that are stored within your local drive, just to speed up. So just not let you wait until the files will be downloaded from the cloud each and single time. So and what you can do here, you can download all files. So it means that it will bring all my cloud storage to my local drive, which is I don't really want. So I don't really need. And or vice versa, it can free up disk space. So it means that if I click on the free up disk space, then it will just remove everything from the local your local usage. If I click free up disk space, then it says, okay, so I will remove all the files and they will be just online only. So it means that it will clean up your local drive and just files will be available somewhere in the cloud, and you have to download it if you need it. So I can click continue, but I can also show you another thing, interesting thing, yeah, that if I just go to my settings, Windows I on my keyboard, inside the settings, I go to storage over here, and I go to storage sense. Yeah, so this is the tool that allow me to that allow you and me, of course, manage the storage inside Windows. So first of all, what we can do here, yeah, so keep Windows running smoothly by automatically clean up temporary system and app files. Okay, pretty much sure. Yeah, it's checked, it's good. Yeah, so it will clean up the temporary files automatically for you. Then you can set the retention period for your recycle bin, as well as it can download the files from the download folder. For example, you can say, okay, download it in 30 days. Yeah, so it means that if the files will be more than 30 days, it will be just removed from the download folder. And what I wanted to point you also, it just help you to manage locally available cloud content. So my OneDrive, actually files that I store, they are, as you can see, never deleted. Yeah, so it means that if the file is downloaded to my local drive, it will always stay there. But using this tool, I can say, okay, so remove all the files that I don't use in the last 30 days. Yeah, so it means that if I just download the file, use it once, and it stays on my drive for 30 days, and then it will be cleaned up automatically. So this is very nice tool, yeah. So, and I'm going to set, for example, if I don't need it for I don't know, 30 days. Yeah, it's okay for me, 30 days. Okay, and of course I can run storage sense now, which will clean up my drive. Yeah, so for example, if I click run storage now, it will just clean up my files from my storage. Yeah. Other thing that I can also do, I can actually, but again, it's my decision. Yeah, so I decided to keep the files that I use in the last 30 days on my local drive, but all the rest, all the other files I want to delete. But you can also choose, for example, to delete everything. Yeah, from OneDrive settings. Yeah, so you can free up disk space, and then all the files that were downloaded to your local drive will be only available online. Okay, so let's come back to the WizTree to analyze what we have next. So we tackle this 185 gigabyte of my drive space. Yeah, so let's move further and see what the application data we have. Yeah, so the AppData folder is the second bigger one. Yeah, so it's 112. What I can see is here the most bigger file over here. It's 21.5 gigabyte. It's my data from the Outlook. You can go to Outlook, you can go to settings, you can say, okay, keep my emails only for 30 days or 1 month, yeah, and then delete it, and etc. So I will not touch this Outlook database because I actually need to use it. Then what we could also see, the biggest files is, okay, so this is interesting. Yeah, this is 23 gigabytes of my Docker file system. Yeah, so because I have the Docker desktop installed on my computer, the Docker desktop, as you know, it's just run on some kind of virtual machine. Yeah, so and of course the virtual machine needs to store some kind of data somewhere. Yeah, so and this is kind of file storage in ext4 format. File system, yeah, so from my Docker. Okay, so if I want to get rid of this 23 gig, I can just remove Docker from my computer and it will disappear. Yeah, so, but I'm not going to do that. So the next thing I can see, there is again the big file is 4.5 gig. It's for my Ubuntu. So because I use WSL, yeah, I have my Ubuntu installed, which is 2204. Another biggest file is this is interesting, yeah, because it's another Ubuntu, yeah. So it's another Ubuntu which is 2004. So it means that I have two distro that I use, Ubuntu 2204 and Ubuntu 2004, which I want to, of course, I don't need it, yeah, so I don't use it. I use 2204, but not 2004, and I just forgot to delete it, yeah. So let's do that. I go to my command line, and the first thing that I wanted to do, I want to check if it's still there. So I do WSL -list verbose. Yeah, so this is the command, and as you can see, yes, indeed, I have it. Yeah, so I have Ubuntu 22.04 as well as I have Ubuntu 20.04. Yeah, so on my side. So I want to unregister it. So I do WSL -unregister, and then I just copy this Ubuntu 20.04 to clean up some space. Yeah, so it's not big amount, but still it's 4 gig. Yeah, that I can actually win. Okay, so it's done. So actually fast. And I just, if I check, I don't have it anymore. So I have just Ubuntu 22.04. Cool. So I get rid of this file. So let's come back to the WizTree. So I look at the biggest squares. Yeah, so this is the biggest files. This is the biggest because this is just a small, tiny dots that I don't really care about. Yeah, so I care about the really huge rectangles. Yeah, so like here, for example, 25 gigabyte. Here it's 4 gigabytes. Yeah, and again, so what is this? If I click on it, I immediately see the file over here. Yeah, so as you can see, it's the file 9 gigabyte, and it's inside the Adobe CLR logs, dumps. So it just kind of memory dump for 9 gig. Yeah, so maybe there was some problem with the Adobe, and I sent the it sends the report to the Adobe. I don't know. Yeah, so but it just stored the memory dump, which I don't really need. Yeah, so I actually can just right click over here and say that I want to delete this file. I click delete. Okay, so the file is deleted and I don't need it anymore. Okay, so I can say that I finished with AppData folder. Yeah, so I remove a little bit 9 gig here, 4 gig here. So I win like 13 gigs, yeah, so of the disk space. Let's move forward. Yeah, so again, the same principle. So I will look at the biggest quadrats that I have. This is my apps folder. This is the folder where I keep all my development apps. Again, I don't care about this small tiny things. Yeah, so I'm not going to see. I'm looking for the really big files that I can remove and win the disk space very fast. This is my development zip file, which is 6.9 gig. And what is this? This is my development zip, which is 6.9 gig. Okay, so, and one of the files are stored inside the apps folder, and another file is stored in the customer archive folder. Okay, I'm looking to these files, yeah, so I'm looking into 6.9, yeah, so the date is 2103, yeah, 8 is 24, 1824. So this is just a duplicate, yeah, so I don't need to have it, so that's why I just remove the duplicate, yeah, so I remove this file. And again, I will win some kind of 7 gig of space, yeah, so which is not bad. So I remove it, yeah, so delete. Okay, so the file is deleted. Good. So I'm finished with my app folder. I don't see the big squares over there. So again, OneDrive from Microsoft. Yeah. So from my work, from my employer. Yeah. So again, some big files over here. Yeah. So, and again, the whole size is the 19 gigabyte. The same story as with my personal OneDrive. Yeah. So I can go to the storage sense. I can say, okay, remove the files, and it will be done. I can clean up completely this OneDrive. Yeah. So, and again, I will win 19 gigabyte, yeah, so which is very good. Yeah, so again, another videos folder that I have. Yeah, so again, the big squares is just some videos that I recorded. Yeah, so then I go to my documents, which is quite small. Yeah, so again, and then other folders, yeah, are very small, tiny. I don't actually look at it. Yeah, so my videos, again, so I can clean up some videos that I don't need anymore. Yeah, so I record some videos. That's why it just takes some storage, but in overall, it's just a 15 gig of space, yeah, that I can clean up. But again, I need to do this individually, so I can't do it from here. Yeah, so because I don't know what is the video about and do I need it still or not. Yeah, so I need to do it one by one. Okay, so then I move to Windows folder. Yeah, so in my Windows folder, there is a memory dump, 21 gig, which I don't actually need. So I can easily remove this file. Again, if this file used by system, yeah, it will just not allow you to remove it. Yeah, so maybe I did this memory dump, I don't remember, yeah, but still it stays there and I don't need. So all the rest I will not touch here because there is a kind of small squares, yeah, so I not very actually interesting. Program files, again, the same story, no big deals, yeah, no big files, nothing, yeah, so pagefile.sys, it's actually is a system file in Windows that set aside for your computer random access memory or RAM. It means that when your computer RAM begins to run out of memory, then it's used the page file to offload data that it doesn't need. So it means that it's kind of the cache. Yeah, so it's the files that you keep in memory, the files that Windows keep in memory, they are stay in memory, but when they are not needed to be in memory, the Windows just send them to this pagefile.sys. Yeah, so it means that it allows you to increase your memory. Yes, but actually it's much slower. Yeah, so the processor memory interaction is very fast. Yeah, so but processor to the disk, yeah, it's very slow, and the disk is slow comparing to memory. Yeah, so that's why you will just be allowed to store much more data inside your memory, but it will be slower. In my case, I have my page.sys file for 32 gig. Yeah, so and this is I also have memory 32 gig on my laptop, and this is 32 gig of my pagefile.sys. And this pagefile.sys, I can so actually I Windows manage this file, yeah, first of all, but I can influence it. Yeah, so I can say make this file bigger or make this file smaller. I just want to tell you the rule of thumb. Yeah, so to influence this pagefile.sys size, yeah, so you need to take care about it if it's just more than 2 times bigger than your memory. For example, I have 32 gig, yeah, and this pagefile.sys is also 32 gig, so I don't need to care, yeah, so it's okay for me. But still, if you want to make it smaller, yeah, for example, if it's too big, like you have the 16 gig, but the file is 64 gig, yeah, and you want to make it 32 gig, for example, you can do that. So again, you need to go to settings again. So this is my settings, yeah, this is my system settings. And in my system settings, I scroll down to About. I go to About. This is my computer. And if I scroll down, I can see that I have advanced system settings over here. When the advanced system settings will open, I go to Advanced tab. And here you see the performance. Yeah, so I go to settings of the performance and I go to advanced tab here. And you see this is the virtual memory. This is exactly what is the file is about. And this is show me that I have 32,768 megabytes, which is the 32 gig. Yeah, so and I can change this file. Yeah, so if I click change, then I can say, okay, so it will be automatically adjusted. Yeah, so or I can set it completely manually. Yeah, so I can set the custom size. Like for example, I want to have one megabyte. Yeah, so of course I will not do that. I'm just joking. You can also move this file from C to D drive and etc. Yeah, so it's up to you how you want to configure it. I just want to show you that it's also possible to make this file a little bit smaller. Okay, so I will close those windows and let's go again to the WizTree. And so the next big file is hyberfil.sys. So it's also a system file managed by Windows, and it helps you with Hibernate. Yeah, so as you know, there are 2 modes inside your computer. Yeah, it's a sleep mode and hibernate mode. The difference between sleep and hibernate is that the sleep, when you just put your computer into sleep, it puts the computer in extremely low power state and stores all the open apps and files in RAM. Hibernate, on the other hand, stores all the open apps on the hard disk. And this is exactly the file that it used to kind of store the memory. And again, what is the difference is that when in sleep mode, your computer is extremely low power state, but in Hibernate, it just stores your memory on this file and shut down the power completely. Yeah, so it means that the Hibernate is useful when you will be away from a system for a while and then want to close the active apps and etc. So you want to return back to the same state as you were before. And sleep is just for the short things, like you go to lunch, you just close the laptop, you go to lunch, you open the apps that you are going to work with. So what you can do with this file, actually, you can remove it completely. Yeah, so not just physically. Yeah, so because the Windows will prevent you to do that, but you can go, for example, to to command line and say, for example, power con cfg power cfg minus h, so it's a hibernate, and then you can say off, and then you will just completely remove your hibernate possibility to do the hibernate within your computer or laptop, and it also will remove this file, so you will gain this this size that it just is cut from your system. Yeah. So at the same time, you can always do hibernate on, which will again return back the hibernate to your computer. So that's mainly it. Let's come back to WizApp. So we talk about those two files. Yeah. So another thing's that if we go to next folder, it's a temp folder. Okay, it's interesting. Yeah. So okay, inside the temp folder, I see that I have the really huge file, like 22 gig. Yeah. So which is actually my takeout from my Google Photos. Yeah. So I took out all the photos and I put it somewhere in my NAS storage. So this file also can be removed. Yeah, so I can easily remove it, but just delete it, because I'm pretty much sure that I moved this file to my NAS. Okay, so that's actually it. Yeah, so what other things? If you look at, so I finished with this temp folder, because all the rest, it's kind of, yeah, it's some videos inside my temp folder from 1 gig and 1.5, 1 and 2. Yeah, so I don't need it. Yeah, also I will just immediately remove it. And all the rest you see inside the temp, it's just a small dots. Yeah, so I don't really care about them. So good. And then I see the Windows.old folder. Yeah, so the Windows.old folder, it's the folder where the Windows saves all the files from the previous Windows installation, because I use Windows 11, yeah, but I updated from Windows 10, as well as I updated from one version of Windows 11 to another version of Windows 11, yeah, so, and I can get rid of those files because I don't need them. So I press Windows on my keyboard and type disk cleanup. And for disk cleanup, I know you can't see it, yeah, but because I've shared the part only of my screen, yeah, so you just do the right click and say run as administrator. So it will ask you what disk you want to clean up. I say disk C, and it's just calculating how much space I can clean up. It might take some time. For me, it took about a couple of minutes. So, and most important here, that you can do the real cleanup. Yeah. So, for example, you can remove the Microsoft Defender. You can remove Windows Upgrade log files. Yeah. So it's 7 megabytes that you will earn. Then the downloaded program files. Yeah. So temporary internet files you can remove and win 33 megabytes that I'm not going to do. Yeah. So, I just remove those things. It's too small for me. Yeah. So, but it also shows you the previous Windows installation, which is kind of 8 gigs that you can win. Yeah. So, and again, the recycle bin that I want to clean up. Yeah. So, and the subnails and temporary files. Yeah. So, okay. That's mainly it. Yeah. So I want to get rid of the previous Windows installation, which is the 8.6 gig, and remove recycle bin. Yeah. So I clean up the recycle bin and I click OK. While it's doing this, yeah, so let's talk about the next thing. Yeah, so let's go to program data folder. Yeah, so and see what's the big file is over here. In the program data, it's a Windows DB file, which is kind of some kind of internal database for the Windows. Yeah, I'm not going to touch it. It's just 3 gigabytes. Yeah, so I'm not going to touch this file. And again, I go to my other files, which is program files x86. Yeah, so again, I'm not going to do anything because there is a small pieces here everywhere. And the big piece is here, the ICB ppkg file, which is also kind of internal system file, touch the recovery process of the Windows with 4.1 gig. I don't want to touch it as well. So that's mainly it. I clean up everything that I can find fast. Yeah, so I'm going to look to my drive after all actions that I did. So I close the WizTree. And okay, so my File Explorer showed me that I have like 150 gigabytes of free space comparing to 25 that it was before. I showed you how you can clean up to 25% of your disk space in just a few minutes. It's amazing, yeah. So, and again, I tackle all these big files only. So if I wanted to do some more detailed cleanup, of course, I'm pretty much sure that I will clean up much more. Thank you very much for your attention. If you like my videos and you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel and see you next time in my videos. Bye.